I spent last year, I spent 2 months in England,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't have been able to do that without being able to work remotely.
Most of it was we were purchasing on owner financing to keep. Um,
Hmm.
Whereas like what REI Automated brought to the table for us was a much bigger understanding of like different entrance strategies, different exit strategies using multiple what do you call it? Like
Creative. Yeah.
multiple types of creative financing.
We had a couple like close. We had one in St. Louis, and
Those money in the bank, most recent deal, and then maybe we can briefly go over this one
I got a
that's,
check too.
hey, you even brought the check. I love it. All right, fantastic.
And
What
Share
was it combined?
65,000.
$65,000 assignment fee.
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy good.
And
Well, everyone, welcome to another REI Automated client highlight. Today, I'm super excited to chat with Jon and Rachelle. They're absolutely fantastic. They've had some good wins since coming on board with us. They have a really cool story too, before the program and while they've gotten into the program. So whether you're already in REI Automated, you're on the fence about joining, you're going to get something out of this great chat with an awesome couple. Let's start from the beginning. Whichever one of you wants to answer the question, I want to know, well, other people want to know a little bit about the beginning. Before joining REI Automated, give me with as much grandeur, detail, or as short and snippy as you want to be, what's kind of your history and what was some of the big hurdles that in the moment you were dealing with it?
Well, how far back do you want us to go?
You can
there's
go as
there's
far back as
technically
you want.
I
there's
mean,
technically
I
two
don't know. When
starts.
were you born, Keith? Because I
Yeah.
might have to go back to
Oh
before you were
no.
born.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's technically two starts. There's
Okay.
a Rachel start and then there's a Jon and Rachel start.
Yeah.
So
So I've been doing real estate since I was, well, 21. And
Okay.
that way it won't give away how old I am now. But basically, I found a property, and the bedroom in the houses were separate. So the master bedroom was on one side, and it had its own entrance and bathroom, and then the other bedrooms were on the other side. And I saw the opportunity with this house to, this is before Airbnb, this is before pad split, like I'm an innovator here, okay?
Yeah.
I blocked off that bedroom, and I started renting it out. I would advertise it in the Toronto Star for Canadians because they want
You
to come down to
created co-living.
Florida. I did. And so while I was going to college, it paid my mortgage. There was some months that
Cool.
I actually made money, and other months I had like $50 to pay on my mortgage.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it was just one way to, get rid of a bill while I was in college. Then I started investing other people's money into real estate. Of course, I didn't quite do it the way I should have done it. But anyway, and I started to negotiate owner finance deals, set rate
Mm-hmm.
mortgages, which,
Mm-hmm.
is something that I had never heard of, but I just did it because it came up one day.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
I was buying multi-units, some single family homes, and then I didn't end up having a stake in them, which was the mistake I made back then, but I'm in my 20s.
Oh, that's
So
right. For your
I,
mom, right? If
yes, for
I,
my
yeah.
family, my brother too. He had a fourplex that I helped negotiate. And so I did property management for them. So I
Yeah.
took a property management fee, and then, that again paid my way through college. So I didn't have to have a job. I could
Yeah.
just focus on college. And because at that time my focus was getting a PhD in psychology. And so I wasn't thinking I was going to be a real estate guru or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I was good at it, and so it helped me get through college.
Cool.
And then when I was in my PhD program was when I met Jon, and I think it was like on our first anniversary. He was helping me dig like shrubberies in for our 8 unit that we had. That was like our first
Nice.
anniversary. And it was terrible because the town had said like they had to have a shrubbery in front of the wall. And I
Oh,
don't even think these things have grown because it was just, there were so many roots. We were there for hours
yeah.
digging it. But after that, well, the rest is we got married. And at some point, we were listening to Robert Kiyosaki, and I said, "Oh my gosh, I've kind of been going at this the wrong way." And when I listened to Robert Kiyosaki, we kind of had that moment where, okay, we need to like do real estate. And so we started out with postcards,
Yep.
just and actually like literally printing the postcards, chopping them with
Yeah.
because we had a
This is
budget, a
how I
very
started as
small
well.
budget.
Absolutely.
Like we're chopping them with, you remember that thing, right? That you could get like the had the cutter, right?
Yes, yes. We would
So,
print them out so
right,
fast we had to stick them underneath the fan because
to dry
otherwise
them,
it's
yeah.
spitting out the printer so much that the ink would smear on the brush. Yeah.
So we would do 4 to a sheet, and we're sitting there like cutting them as they're coming
Yep.
out, and then
As furiously
literally,
fast as you can.
yeah, then hand stamping them, and then I would go the next day before going to work and put
Yeah.
them all in, and we would wait for the phone to ring.
Yep.
And so that's how we started, was with postcards, and then our first deal was a really good deal in Chicago. We had so many buyers there. We had multiple offers on it, and I got the check. And I remember standing, like telling John, like, "Oh, I'm at the closing. I've got the check. This is great." And then, like, thinking, well, I just met with my accountant about, like, I was in private practice at this point doing psychology, and I just met with
Mhm.
the accountant about the first quarter, and I had made more money in that one real estate deal than with that first quarter in psychology. And I went,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
We're done." And so yeah, then we started doing like building, scaling, doing like TV advertising. We had a little bit of a team growing, and we had a lot of deals. We had a lot of doors that we owned, and then we ran into 2008,
Hmm.
and so that was quite a trial for us.
Yeah.
And we took quite a big left turn, and we left and went to Costa Rica.
Okay.
But our real estate career didn't end there. We just changed it a little bit. We were managing a hotel. We did property management down there for quite a few expats that owned property. Um, so we were very busy doing that. We and we did that for over 10 years. Um, and then
All
when we
there in Costa Rica.
all in Costa Rica, yeah, 10
Okay.
years doing property management, just all short-term vacation rental. Um, yeah, so then we arrived back in the States, and John immediately went to work for a real estate company because it was the easiest thing for us to do at that point,
Yep.
was to get him back in, and he was working when he first went in, he was working dispositions. Well, first, actually, he started in Costa Rica doing cold calling for somebody,
Hmm.
kind of part-time, and then working into disposition.
Okay.
Um, and then, eventually dispositions turned into acquisitions, a sales manager. So he was, really learning. And it's interesting because, kind of the real estate that we did post the pre 2008
2008.
versus now is quite different. And so
Very different.
there was some things that we had to learn. And then we were all, when we first, in the last few years, we were all belly to belly up in New
Hmm. In
England.
person.
In person, yeah. John, I was a transaction coordinator, and he was all doing acquisitions, just face to face. And then about a year ago, things changed again.
Yeah.
And
Now,
life
before
is
we get to that,
always changing.
prior to 1 year ago, about how many deals do you think? And I realize that some of this time, you're working for a real estate company that you didn't own. But go ahead and include those because you're still working the deals, you're doing the transaction, he's doing the acquisition. How many deals had you been party to from inception to a year ago?
So a year. So you mean like till a year ago, like from when we came back? Oh my goodness. Well, I worked for
I think just
company.
working for the
Yeah.
company that I worked for, I probably at least did 100, just just that. I mean, I think the last in 2023, the last year I worked for them, I did somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 to 50 deals that year.
Okay.
I was averaging like 2 contracts a week.
Okay.
One to two, like call it 1.5 contracts a week. So probably about 4 or 5, maybe 6
very
contracts.
healthy volume.
Yeah. And then, wow, I mean, like 2004, 5, 6, 7. I mean, we were probably similar volume, doing like anywhere from 3 to 5 deals a month over the course of, say, 50 months. Like, so we're talking like, you know, hundreds of deals, maybe even upwards of 400 or 500, maybe. I don't know, 3, 4.
I'm doing my math wrong then. I'm thinking more like closer to 1,000, 800. Am I bad at math? I am. Don't answer the question. I am bad at math. What was the? I mean, what were the figures that you're throwing out?
I mean, Jon, was the acquisition agent, but for me, like I would always take contract to close as TC, and so I definitely, while I worked for the company, saw almost 300 deals through, because I had in my pipeline at any time like 25 to 35 deals.
Yeah. Okay. So we're talking really conservatively 300. Really conservatively 300, probably 500, 600, maybe even north of that.
Yeah. I mean, I know that when before, like when we had our own wholesaling business before, you know, there was a whole thing like if you're not talking to 100 people a day, you're not working.
Yeah.
I remember that. I mean, we had the Crackberry, and that thing was always on, and we were definitely talking to 100 people a day. Like, I was just always on the phone.
Cool.
I remember that was back when they charged for minutes too. And
yeah,
so
they charged.
You'd get minutes, and we'd be at like 3,000 minutes for a month. Like we'd literally be like off the charts the amount we were talking on our phone. You know,
and it was probably not all local.
No.
So you're having, what is that called? Did you have a toll-free number?
No.
We had a local number.
We had a local number because it was all Chicago.
Yeah, long distance calls, an extra 3 cents a minute. Man, those were the days. Back when you still had the coil on the cord, or the coil.
And you'd get a 100-foot or a 200-foot cord so you could walk around the house.
Yeah, that's how me and Miranda started dating. Get that 100-foot cord because I needed my private conversation in the bedroom, not all out in the open. Anyway, okay, so cool, very well established, super knowledgeable, very successful in multiple ways. And so just to like directly, in case people didn't catch it up, we're not just talking about one entrance strategy or one exit strategy. We're doing co-living, we're doing wholesaling, we're holding rentals, we're buying things with owner financing, we're owner financing itself with step-up rates.
Lease options, we forgot about that.
Yeah, we did a lot of lease options.
Not basic stuff, like pretty complex things.
Even very like traditional. Like one time we literally sat down in a Denny's with a realtor in Joliet, and she had all of the offers, like the contracts for like 20 different houses. And we just said, all right, we're just going to offer 50 cents on the dollar to get the thing started, or 70 cents on the dollar. And we just wrote like 20 offers, and we sent them out, and a bunch of people responded. And this back when all you had to have was a pulse and a driver's license to get a loan. And so essentially we just got like no doc 100% loans on, you know, about 10 or 12 properties between me and Rachel and a partner that we had. And then those properties we actually would sell on rent to own lease options. So we would buy them traditionally with bank financing.
Cool.
We got 100%. Money.
And so there's like everything from creative to traditional to wholesaling to flipping.
We even had a program where we, you know, like, because we would advertise the house for lease option, and then if they came to the house and they said, oh, well, this isn't for us, and we said, well, what are you looking for? And then we would like literally go find the house for them, because they were, you know, that it was a buyer in hand, and so we would go find the house, have them work with the realtor to find the house, and then we would work with a credit partner or money partner to buy the house, and then we would lease option it to them, because it was almost like more of a guarantee that they were going to go through with that. And they did. Most of those actually followed through with purchasing the house, whereas the other ones didn't always go through.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So tons of experience. And I interrupted you a couple minutes ago. You said about a year ago.
Well, yeah, we've just actually had our 1-year anniversary with REI Automated. So John, I think he saw something on Facebook, and we had already started to move out on our own away from the company that we were working for. We had already started to play around a little bit with PPC and some cold calling. We actually had JV'd with a company that was doing some cold calling for us. And then John saw the REI Automated, I don't know, some promotion ad, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And he decided that this was going to be a good thing for us to sign up because it seemed like it was a little bit different, especially with the PPC. That was something we had just started to play around with and we weren't very experienced with. So we thought, well, let's take a chance here.
Was that the biggest difference from what you were doing previously? Was the PPC? Was that like the thing that was most, I don't know the right word.
I would say there was that because we didn't have very much knowledge, but then the other piece of it was, you heard Rachel say, all the way up until a year ago, pretty much my entire experience, bar a handful of deals, was belly to belly, face to face, where everything that you teach is learning how to do stuff in more of a virtual, like to be more efficient, using your time a little bit more effectively, For example, I went on a belly to belly appointment today. So hour and a half in the car total, 45 minutes there, 45 minutes back. So it's like, so one of the things.
Hey, you're buying houses in Florida now, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Hey, I wasn't expecting to hear that.
It's an old PPC lead that we got like 6 months ago, and I've been trying to get this guy sorted out. But the idea is, like, in that hour and a half, what else could you have gotten done?
Yeah.
Now there's pros and cons. Like I do enjoy belly to belly.
Absolutely. And you're going to convert at a higher percentage.
Yeah. But the virtual thing. And then although we've done owner financing, most of it was we were purchasing on owner financing to keep. Whereas like what REI Automated brought to the table for us was a much bigger understanding of like different entrance strategies, different exit strategies, using multiple, what do you call it? Like multiple types, multiple types of creative financing, right?
Yeah.
So like we had never done a sub-2 deal.
Okay.
And some of that was, I didn't understand. I thought sub-2 that I could get in trouble, like somehow, like with the due on sales clause. And so it's a lot of it was just not understanding certain facets of different creative, and then being able to exit. One of the things when I saw the promo and got talking to you was this like idea of you buy it with creative financing, but sell it and do a wrap and create all of these different profit centers. And so that was the piece that was also like pretty, like it was like, oh, I need to learn this because this I don't know anything about. Yeah, I can structure an owner financing deal, but I can't do that. I can't do.
Right. Okay. So different marketing.
You just
efficient.
Didn't know how.
Yeah. That's right. So marketing was good. Creating efficiencies, doing things virtually was another selling point for you, and then the third was different strategies, different creative finance strategies, both on the entrance and the exit.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the virtual, I think one of the things that we learned from working at the previous company, we were so tied to that. Even on a weekend when we were not supposed to work, we were working. Like I would be taking calls, John would be out on acquisitions even on weekends. Yeah. And then, of course, you had to plan, like even on your Sunday, to make sure you did all your food prep. So that
right. So you're ready to hit the week.
So we just kind of was like, this is controlling more than our life than just 40 hours. So I don't know if anybody else can relate to that. And so when we were looking at the program, the idea of being virtual and having more flexibility, being able to travel and still do the deals.
Yeah.
I spent last year, 2 months in England.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to do that without being able to work remotely. And, I'd get up in the morning, which is a big time difference, but I do all my deal analysis and everything and then kick it over to, them to do acquisitions. In that one, once it came on the afternoon or they came in. And I just wouldn't have been able to do that without something like this being remote.
Cool. I have a question for you. At this point, I've talked to more than 1,000 people wanting to join REI Automated, and I'm very transparent with our pricing model. Everyone knows that we're freaking expensive. So it's undoubtedly you're going to have doubts. Somebody, oh God, you know, a little bit of a sticker shock. Everyone's going to have doubts before making a commitment, a financial commitment like this. And you guys actually didn't have me as your salesman. This is back when we had a full team of setters and closers. You never got to talk to me until you signed up. And so probably even more so for you guys than even today when people actually do get to talk to me. When you were talking, if you remember the gentleman's name who brought you in,
Brandon.
amazing person, Brandon Pringle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what fears, what hesitations did you guys have, and what convinced you to move forward with us anyway?
Interesting.
I would actually say, I mean, I wouldn't say that you're that, like, in comparison, and especially for what you get, I wouldn't call what you offer expensive. I think it's reasonable, you know, I do. And I think the other thing is back then you were offering it was like the 90-day guarantee or something like that.
Yeah.
And then it was just, I think we actually got access to some of the program and we were able to like watch some of it and stuff. There was like a light version.
Okay.
And then so it gave it like when people sign up, they get the playbook, and the first few sections you got to see that, right?
Yeah.
And so I did get to meet you because I got to meet you that way. We didn't
Virtually.
get to converse.
Yeah.
But I did like you too, and people are going to do business with people they know and like. And so I think one of the things was I felt you were a person of integrity. I felt like you cared about the craft that you were promoting and doing. And that was the other thing, is you were doing it, not just selling it.
Yeah.
Like you could see, and obviously since we've been in, I can see even more that you're doing it as you teach it, right?
You're
like
seeing me in Louisiana dealing with lawsuits last week.
Right.
Yeah.
So like, and that was huge for me because like, back in the day when we were doing it in 04, 05, 06, the guru thing was a thing. And I told you this story before. We used to go to REIAs like 2-3 times a week, some of them big, had the gurus in selling the tapes and the books and the mentorships and the programs and whatever. And there was literally people that had maybe done a deal and they're up in the front of the room literally selling tens of thousands of dollars worth of, you know, educational materials. And it was all like theory. Like they hadn't done it. They actually hadn't done it. It was all stuff that other people told them, or you know, they were a student of a Ron LeGrand or a Bob Allen or something, and then they created their own program. So they were basically just regurgitating what they had done, but they never had actually physically done it. And so it was like, well, how am I supposed to learn from somebody that isn't even doing what I'm doing? And they're just, and then when I ask them a question, it's just, they're just going to answer it based on what's in the book and in the material, what's based on theory, not what's based on actually what's happening out in the real world when you go to wholesale a deal and a buyer does something wonky, or a title company won't do this, or you know, whatever, like the one we're dealing with in Weirton, where it's like, you know, the title company doesn't want to close because there's this cloud on title, even though it's kind of like not a real thing, you know. And so whereas you've been doing it and you've been dealing with all of that stuff, and so we can come to you and ask you a question and be like, what's your experience with this? Like, what do you think about this? Right. And so that's, I think, what's all of that stuff was stuff that I could see prior to signing up. And that's kind of why I did it. Because we were looking at like multiple programs. It was like, we're going to do a program. We're going to learn like PPC and these different things. We're going to do it. It's just a matter of who are we going to do it with, you know?
And we had talked, we had gone into the group as well. And Jon had found a couple of people that had been working with you. And
I didn't know this.
We stalked them on Facebook. And got in touch with them and talked to them via phone and asked them what they were doing and had they done deals and how had they done deals. And and they,
I forgot about that.
No, we vetted you.
Sounds like I need to give somebody a referral fee. That's cool. I didn't know that.
People. Yeah, no, it was a couple people.
Because you guys have the free Facebook group, whatever. I forget what it's like, something about. I forget what it's called.
REI Secrets.
And so, yeah, I had found a couple people in there that I could tell that they were part of the
Cool.
program, and I Facebook messaged them, and then I think I talked to 2 or 3 of them.
Okay.
I can't, at this point, I can't even remember.
Golly, you
who I
may as
spoke
well
to.
just have hired a private investigator.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
So more
yeah.
or less, you just through research, talking with people, going through the free course and such, those fears were, what's the right word? Diminished, I guess.
Alleviated. Yeah. I mean, the other thing is like, I could tell, like I can tell you're doing it, and at the end of the day, the education's going to be there. And you know, this is going to sound kind of weird, but like to some degree, it doesn't matter. Like it's up to you. Like you're the one that has to take this stuff and do something with it, right?
Act upon
and
it.
So, you know, I could just tell there's enough in there for me to be able to do what I need to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then when I got in, I found out there's like a lot more than what I was expecting, right? But
Cool.
It's like to some degree, it's on.
I want to,
you know, on me.
I want to take that and I want to run with it. So we've got 3 pillars in REI Automated, right? Pillar number 1 is education. Teach you all the videos, the marketing, the sales and negotiation, deal analysis, raising private money, hiring team members, whatever. So you have all these videos, these courses. Then pillar number 2, the operating system. So now I've taught you how to do it in a class, in a classroom environment. But now here's the tool, here's the resource that you need. Here's the deal analyzer, here's the ARV finder, here's the purchase and sales agreement, here's the CRM, here's the whatever it is. Here's the tool in order to execute that. And then, so that's pillar number 2, operating system. Pillar number 3 is support. Okay, well now you have the knowledge, the book smarts, now you have the tool to go out and do it. But undoubtedly you go out in the real world and it's the wild, wild west out there, and you have title companies that don't give you your freaking money. And what do we do? You know, like, wouldn't it be nice to be able to turn to somebody who's had that situation or something very similar who can walk you through? So pillar number 3 is support. Which one, and I'd actually like to get both of you. You two operate very differently. Very different personality types, very different thinking models. Of those 3 pillars, which one clicked for you right away? Which one was the biggest help in your business, and why?
Going first, I guess. She's just not saying much. I would say the middle one, like the operating system, because I am a very like disorganized person. Like if I don't have lists and I haven't thought about and put together what I need to do on a day-to-day basis, like we're talking about, it's like that's one of the things I love about the CRM is like it throws this hierarchy in front of me. It basically tells me what to do.
Yeah.
So it's like having Rachel give me the honeydew list without Rachel giving me the honeydew.
You have to ask for it. Here it is.
Literally like, you know, it just tells me what to do. And for the most part, I mean, you know, there's obviously nuances to that. It's not that simple, but well, it kind of is, but there are nuances to it. But I mean, for me, and then like Asana, having that like on the back end to deal with either things that you
Wow, I did not think that Jon was going to bring up Asana. Of all things, that's Rachel.
I don't, but it's
that's
like
cool.
I
don't really use it.
I don't use it a ton, and I'm horrible at like commenting and doing what I need to do in it. But it is like a huge help.
Lifesaver.
But so like the CRM, Asana, things of those nature, I think were for me.
So the systems is more what you gravitated to. Rachel, what about you?
Well, I was gonna say the systems too. I mean, the fact that they were already there was great. Because it was basically just kind of, okay, I can plug into this, but then I can structure it the way it makes sense to me. And then as we've brought in team members, I've used your modules to train them. Like instead of me, like reinventing the wheel here, I go, hey, go watch these modules.
Yes.
Tell me, and then I do like a little plan in Asana for them. Says here's what you need to watch.
Cool.
And then they're on a Kanban, and I say, move it over when it's complete, and then I'll give you more modules to watch. And I make a few videos here or there just to complete it. But being able to plug into what you already have for your training and Asana is made it easier for us to bring on team members because it's already done.
Right.
And I've just had to fill in a few gaps for kind of the way we run our business a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But I do like office hours as well because you've got people all over the country. So your kind of resources are expanded, and the people on the group might have had some experience with, or if you're looking for a title company in a particular state, or
Yeah.
a lawyer or whatever, they might have it, or they can give you a different input. So I do enjoy that as well. So sometimes I don't really say anything on office hours. I might just sit there. Although I know in the beginning you told me, "What's wrong with you, Rachel? You're not speaking today."
You have to. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I think also which pillar is like the most impactful depends on where you're at.
Yeah.
Because like in the very beginning, obviously the training was important, but
Yep.
we ripped through that as fast as we could just because we needed to get our business like moving forward, right?
Yeah.
And so
1.5 speed, 2 speed.
yeah,
Yes,
1.5 speed,
absolutely.
whatever.
Blaze through. But let me just ask you this, because I just want to state potentially an obvious thing. Rachel was like, Keith, if we go back to the beginning, this may be before you were born. So let me just ask this. Can somebody who's been alive for less years teach you anything about real estate?
Oh,
Yeah,
of
100%.
course.
You learned at least one thing.
Multiple things,
Multiple things.
I
Yeah,
think,
of
and I
course.
think it would be like a huge error to
Yeah.
make the assumption that you couldn't. And I think any real estate investor who's in the real estate investing space and thinks that they know everything is also a massive error. I
You'd
think
be surprised how much I hear it.
I think you have
What can
to
I learn from a
come
young buck like you? Well,
Yeah,
probably nothing, because you're not teachable.
yeah, and that's the main thing. So I think that's
Yeah, I think that we were open enough to
So
realize
much.
that
Oh, I loved it.
there's definitely techniques and things that we didn't know, and I would
Yeah.
imagine that we've probably brought some things to the table too during
Absolutely.
office hours.
Absolutely.
That
You know how much
not
stuff
have
I
thought
put in
about.
Asana because something that you said, Rachel?
I know you changed assignment contracts because
Oh,
of me.
man. We've changed we've changed a whole bunch. Yeah, you guys are
Well,
awesome.
I think
I've
it's,
learned a ton.
a symbiotic thing, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
I'm looking for some things, and you're looking, you're always, if you're always learning and growing, then you're gonna find it.
That's right.
And it doesn't matter, what your age is.
That's right.
And then there was like a period in the first say 3 to 6 months where like office hours was the support was the most critical piece, because at that point I had watched all the videos and we were watching them again, but again, that's not in practice. That's all just it's just
that's not
educational
this specific
material.
deal.
Yeah.
So then back then you were doing 5 days of office hours, and I was literally on office hours every single day. Because I wanted to see the deal analysis. I wanted to hear about the sub-twos and the wraps and the this and what was people doing and how are they dealing with different markets and different issues and all of that stuff. Now I've been on enough where I come on less, but I think that's also the beauty of it is
shoot, but seriously,
always there. It's always there that you can always come to it when you need it, but you can then start to say, well, I have to allocate this hour to calling sellers and moving my business forward. But if it's critical, I'll get on, or if I feel like I can, because I want to give back also.
Yeah.
Because I've gotten a ton out of it, so I want to be able to get on every now and again, even if I don't need anything and I have the time, I'll just get on, because there's always good stuff happening on there.
Yeah. And even I love that. Even a year after you guys have been with us, I love seeing you guys show up on a regular, consistent, every week, multiple times per week basis. It's
I
wonderful.
was gonna say too, in the beginning, so we had before we started with REI Automated, we had marketing going for cold call. And we had a couple of deals signed up right at the beginning when we signed up with REI Automated. And one of them was in Ocala, Florida. And there's
oh, that's right.
Yeah, there's one of your students in the group.
Yep.
And so we knew he was in Ocala, and Jon had done a job signing up the deal, and we said, hey, do you mind going out getting photos? Like, oh, absolutely not. I'll go. And then he came back and was like, dude, there's a tree on the house and a hole in the roof. So Jon went back, renegotiated.
It had fallen, right? Didn't it collapse to the corner or something? Yeah.
Something like that. And so he got a smoking renegotiation on it because it's
Yeah.
and then Josh
Shout
found our
out.
buyer.
Yeah.
And it was
Josh, I think Josh knew he had the buyer
I knew he had the buyer.
before he
Oh, he's
went out
so
there.
Probably.
He
probably.
knew. He
But
knew.
I
And-
mean, in the last year, that's the biggest. If you look at wholesale fee, that was the biggest
Yeah,
wholesale
like we
fee.
shared it with
Yeah.
Josh.
We
but
shared
like
it with
like the
Josh.
combined
Yeah,
wholesale
but the
fees, the
combined
largest
wholesale
that
fee
we've done,
this
and
year.
What was it combined?
65,000.
$65,000 assignment fee.
Yeah.
Crazy good.
and this is on a house that was probably like a $250,000 house.
I don't
So
even
it was like
remember
literally
that
margin.
much.
it was a huge deal.
It was a
Great
And
big
margin.
I 100% know that like I don't think I ever would have found that buyer. That kind of assignment. Well, number one, I don't think I would have renegotiated.
Yeah.
Because I don't think I would have been able to see what he saw being
Yeah.
there, you know.
Yep.
So that piece of it was nice. And I don't think we would have found that guy willing to pay what he paid for it. Like when he told me that the guy was willing to pay that, I was like, really? I'm like, that's
Stoked.
crazy. Like I don't think I
Yeah.
would have been able to find a buyer on an Investor Lift or PropStream or wherever
Yeah.
who would have paid that much for it. But he
Yeah.
was local and, you know, he used his own money and it didn't matter to him. But
Yep.
that was 100% because Josh knew the guy. And
Sweet.
so, you know,
65. That's
Yeah.
actually, that rivals two of my biggest assignments ever. It's
Yeah.
real
It's
good.
not John's biggest assignment.
my
ever.
biggest.
What's your biggest one?
135 on
$133,000.
innovation. Yeah.
Oh, wait, Novation?
Yeah.
No, that's totally okay. That's
Yeah.
not an
It was on
assignment.
innovation.
Yeah.
Doesn't count.
He
I
had
think-
one that was 133 and one that was 108.
That's awesome. That's huge. But with Novation, frankly, I expect
Kinda
more
big.
with Innovation on the MLS.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know we had at least one other assignment, 65,000. That one in Beverly,
I think
Mass.
that's 65. I think is the biggest on an assignment. I
yeah.
can't think of
Sweet.
a one that was bigger.
Well, you guys
Not on a straight
recently
assignment.
got one. Yes. Are you prepared to share about that one?
We had a couple like close. We have one in St. Louis, and we're still working on the one in Weird.
Okay. Let's do. Let's. The
It
one
is,
that.
it is clear to
It's
close
good-
though.
it's
It is clear to close,
yeah.
and we know
Okay.
that we know the estate is gonna go away, and so it'll close.
Yeah, it'll
Sweet.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
hasn't. So
Well, let's talk. Let's do the one that's closed, money in the bank, most recent deal, and then maybe we can briefly go over this one that's.
I got a check.
Hey, you even brought the check. I love it. All right, fantastic. Tell us about the deal first. How'd you find it?
Okay.
The source
so
was.
This one was PPC, and it was
Okay.
in St. Louis. So I
All
don't
right,
know if
now just to
John
be
wants to talk about it.
totally
Saint-
clear, y'all are in Florida. You've been in Florida this whole time that you're doing this deal. This house is in St. Louis, Missouri.
St. Louis, Missouri.
Have you ever
Yeah.
invested in St. Louis, Missouri before?
No.
Have you ever been to St. Louis, Missouri
have.
before?
Yeah. I
Okay.
have. I've been up the arch.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's literally, I've done that as well. I've only been up the arch, had a couple meals. We stayed there for 3 days, but like I'm not intimately familiar with
No.
St. Louis,
we
Missouri.
actually did like this. There was this business thing we did back in the day when we were doing real estate as well, and there was a conference in St.
That's
Louis
exactly
that
why
we
I was there for a conference, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So PPC, what were the key numbers? ARV, mortgage repairs, arrears, walk away.
Oh, wow.
So this is in St. Louis, not city, but county. So it's like South County.
Okay.
So original purchase price was 170, I believe.
Okay.
And the ARV, we had it at 290 or 295,000. And the reason for that was so in this particular part of St. Louis, and I think in a lot in St. Louis, it's literally neighborhood by neighborhood. So this little neighborhood was literally like 3 streets one way and maybe 5 streets another way.
Wow. Teeny
And
tiny.
houses in that area would sell for 260 plus. The minute you went
Okay,
out of there,
cool.
they were all like 220 to 250.
Okay.
And so the comp we were using was literally right around the corner, and it had sold for $292,000.
Sweet.
So we were using that as our comp. I used Investor Lift on this, so I'm pretty sure it was through you. We got the freemium or whatever.
Yeah.
Free Investor Lift account, and still have
Yeah,
it, right?
cool.
And with that, you got on your first 2 deals, you got access to Artemis mode.
Yep.
God mode was included, but you got access to Artemis mode. So
Sweet.
I threw it up on there, did exactly what Robert told us to do in the
In that
onboarding,
video.
which is go to ChatGPT and have ChatGPT write the description for you. You just put a bunch of things in there and basically writes the description for you. We had the photos because we used Investor Boots to go out and take the photos for us. This company called Investor Boots, which is like basically your boots on the ground.
Yep.
And funnily enough, through Investor, the guy that flipped that house for 290 because it was a flip. He found me on Investor Lift and said, "Oh, I'm interested in the house."
The house that you were using as a comp.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
He's like, "Oh, I really want it." He's like, "I know the obviously he knew the neighborhood, right?" So we ended up having to renegotiate. I was able to get the seller to go down to 260,000, and I got this guy to agree to 268. So it wasn't a huge wholesale,
Not a big one.
It was pretty quick. I think we signed it up. We signed it up in mid-December. The challenge was from December 15th until the new year. We were both in England, and I couldn't get Investor Lift and a lot of the sites to work right when I was in England. So not a lot happened while I was in England, and I got the guy to extend. But the minute we got back on the 7th, within a couple of days, we had this thing assigned and it was closed.
So we got back from England on the 7th, and this check is dated February 7th. So within 30 days.
Within 30 days
getting
of
back,
being home.
I had check in hand.
Excellent. Okay.
Total contract, like contract to close is probably more like 45 days or something like that.
50, I think it's
50 days.
Still typical. That's within my, very cool.
And funnily enough, that buyer just texted me today and asked me if I have any more deals for him.
Heck yeah, he wants some more. You better ask for a little bit more money next time though.
Yeah. Oh, I will. I will.
Okay.
And then, obviously, like we're still looking for stuff in St. Louis because that
when you have boots on the ground, you have a buyer lined up, it makes things a little bit easier.
Well, and we got some other people who were interested, but not necessarily at that price. He knew that street, so he knew it. But the other investors were
that was the mistake they all made, is they were using the other comps, the 240, 250, 260. He knew because he sold one for 290 that he could sell it for 290 in that neighborhood.
But there was, we still talk to people who are interested there.
Of course. Of course.
Keep naming numbers and
throw them into your buyers list.
Yeah.
Good. Tell me about the deal that is clear to close, but not closed yet. So we're not going to celebrate any wins yet.
No, not yet.
But we'll celebrate that one.
We are close. Yeah. So this one came through again, PPC.
Okay.
This one is in a place I have never been and never heard of until it came through, which is Weirton, West Virginia.
Yeah.
And when it actually first came up, I was kind of like, "Oh, West Virginia,"
I know. I kind of feel the same way about West Virginia, but one of my biggest deals came from there, and good people are in West Virginia.
And so I think we'd actually done a few calls from West Virginia before, and like never really had anything. So we were kind of like, oh. Anyway, I did the lead management on that one and the deal analysis, and basically it was a inherited property. They were living in Pittsburgh, which is only 45 minutes away.
Wow.
So it's
Weirton,
really
it's weird. Like Weirton's the tip.
On the border. Yeah.
Ohio on one side and Pennsylvania on the other side. So Steubenville, Steubenville, Ohio, is right across the river.
Okay.
So I talked to him. He said, "Well, it's just got a very low mortgage on it, and we don't want anything to do with it." I'm like, "Yeah, that's what I love to hear. I don't want anything to do with it."
Yep.
So triaged it, did the deal analysis, and pitched it to Jon, and said, like, I think we can make this one work, And I think he talked to them a couple of times, and he's like, I just don't know. And I said, just sign it up.
I remember us having a conversation about that. Yeah.
Just sign it up. So we did. We contracted it, and he actually did negotiate them down a little bit. And we talked to the probate attorney because originally we were going to, I think, pay off the loan and do owner financing with the heirs.
Yeah, the purchase price is going to be $21,000. It was like, all right, well, I'll bring $15,000, pay off the loan, and then the $6,000 they want, we'll negotiate that when we sell it, we'll just pay them off, right?
Right.
And then the
And
probate attorney was like, no, let's do it the other way around. You can take the mortgage subject too.
Yeah.
And
They're
we'll
already
take,
dead.
yeah, and we'll take a less amount down.
Yeah.
And so we were like,
Hello.
okay, that's great. So this was actually, I think at the time was the first sub2, or it was actually, no, it was the second one.
Okay.
And so it was kind of like, oh, okay, like now this is a dead guy's sub2. So it's been a little bit different.
Even better though. Even better.
A little bit different. So, getting all the paperwork all signed by the executor and everything, and did all that.
Yeah.
And we actually then decided, well, we're going to put our private money skills into work. Even though it was just like a few thousand down,
Yeah, it doesn't
a
matter.
few thousand closing costs, we actually borrowed the money for the holding, the clean out, the little bit of fixes we had to do, and the down payment. And
Yep. Who would you borrow it from? Not their name, but who are they to you?
They are someone that we worked with before.
we worked with. So we worked
Yeah.
for a real estate investment company, but that company also had a brokerage.
A broker.
He was an
They
he was an
worked in
agent,
the
and me
agent
and him,
brokerage.
like that company that I worked for did a ton of novations. It was
Yeah.
the primary exit strategy. And so we were always working with the realtor, and me
Okay.
and him became like pretty tight, and we continued to talk after I left that company. And he reached out actually out of the blue and was asking me about something else, and then he
Hey,
mentioned
can I borrow some money?
well, no, he mentioned wanting to get because he's not an
He's not doing
agent.
real
He is an
estate right
agent
now.
still, but he's not really
Yeah.
like doing a lot of deals. He's working at another company, and he's just like, it's kind of boring, and it's just like
Yeah.
it's easy. He's like, I miss real estate and everything, and I was like, well, if you want to get involved, I got a deal for you. And so basically, he lent us 13 grand.
Okay.
And instead of doing any kind of like to make it attractive him, rather than do like interest rate, I said, well,
It's a flat rate.
let me 13 grand. I'll give you back 15, and I'll make sure it happens inside
Great.
of 6 months. And he
Cool.
was like, sounds good.
Yep.
And literally, it's going to be within 3 months. I think we bought this
Sweet.
mid-December, and we'll have it closed out here in the next week or two. So
Great.
he'll have his money within
Very
2.5,
cool.
3 months.
Yeah.
And how much are you? I know that it's not done yet, so again, we're not going to celebrate any wins. But how much are you scheduled to make on this one?
Just under 24,000.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. So in a place that you've never been, borrowed money. Did we go over
I
the
have
numbers?
Zero.
No renovations, no nothing.
No, so it
I have
was
zero money in the deal.
Yeah, it was-
This is infinite return, other than
Yes.
my marketing costs, right?
Yep.
So purchase
Zero.
price was 21,000, six to the sellers, 15 sub2. We did $2,400 on a clean out and replaced 2 toilets and deep cleaned the place. Immediately put it back on the market. So we closed like before Christmas, but we didn't do the clean out until the new year. Clean out got done. I think we listed it like maybe the 14th or something of January. And within 2 or 3 days, we had like 5 showings. We had 3 offers.
Great.
And the best offer was this police officer who wants to buy it as
That's
a
right.
rental. He started at 50. We were listed at 63 or 62, and we got him up to 57, which on our dirty numbers would net us 25, which is kind of what we were shooting for.
You're off by one.
We came up a little bit short, but like literally, it's clear to close. The only
What's a contract to close timeline?
Oh, it's gonna end up being longer.
Yeah, because we put it under contract probably in like October or November or something like that. So it took us a while to sort out like what we were.
Probate attorney. He was kind of hard to get hold of.
So we're talking about roughly like a 4.5, potentially 5 month. Flip, loosely wholesale.
Yeah, it's a
very cool.
But I mean, it has multiple strategies in it, which
that's what's cool about it. It's got private money, it's got sub2, it's got inherited, it's got.
So the lead actually came in August, but we didn't contract it until October, and then we actually signed the contract with our buyer in February 3rd. So
and we took title in December.
Right.
Mid-December.
Yeah.
Very cool. Okay, turn and burn situation. Like if it's less than 6 months, honestly, this is faster than expected.
And the thing is, on this one, it's not big money, But the thing is, it's in an area where this particular area, properties aren't really going for more than like 65, 70.
Right.
And you know, getting even if we bought the property out at 21, we're not going to wholesale that and make like 20 grand.
Right.
So it was worth finding the money,
Yep.
putting that whole thing together, and then wholesaling it, because
Yep.
we weren't going to find a wholesale buyer for that.
No.
And to be able to make that 23 and change in a short amount of time.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And I think that's also where like the creative entrance strategies and all that, because like I would say over a year ago that deal for me probably doesn't happen, because
no, heck no.
Not that it's a lot of money, like 21,000 plus the clean out and da da da. So now instead of borrowing 13, I got to borrow 25 or 30, but I don't get that from this guy. He doesn't have that, right? And again, like private money is not something we've been doing a lot of recently. So it's not like you, where you have a Rolodex of people who will lend you anywhere from $10,000 to $200,000. Like we don't have that right now. And so potentially that deal doesn't happen, but because we only had to give them 5,000 or 6,000 and then take it over sub-2 and then very little costs involved.
Such low barrier of entry.
It was easy to go find the private money to make the deal happen. So
cool. Okay. Wonderful. Last thing before we close out here. I want you to think about somebody who is where you were 14 to 16 months ago. They've just heard about us. They're on the fence. What would you say to them as some words of encouragement?
Well, I mean, are they in the program or not in the program? So you're saying they're not in the program yet.
You know what? Yeah, because I want this to be encouraging to both the people who are in the program as well as the people. Make it generic. That's a great question. I want to be encouraging to both.
Okay. I think the program gives you all the tools you need, all the, kind of the basic knowledge that you need to get started, and also kind of the referrals for the PPC, lists of title companies. I mean, it's all encompassed in there. And then with the support, you have that platform to be able to go and ask any question that you want or need, at least 3 days a week. And then the thing that you've added to recently was the rookie role play.
Yeah.
So if they don't feel comfortable, like a little different situation for Jon and I, because we've done
talked to thousands of people
a long time and talked to a lot of people, and other people who haven't talked to a lot of people or feel a little bit hesitant about that. I mean, Nate is awesome.
Yeah.
And, they can get on the phone with Nate, and he's very encouraging, and practice, role play, and I think that's key, having that component, because it just gets you comfortable with the script. And that's the other thing is about the script, having that, it literally just kind of pops up. You don't really even have to think about it. And it's just an easy kind of plug and play system. And even if you're not feeling very comfortable, there's a place where you can go and start to learn to feel comfortable.
Yeah. Get some help.
I would say, we started with you obviously at a different point, but I would just say it doesn't matter where you are. At the end of the day, if you surround yourself with the right people, and then you have to take that knowledge and the system and everything and take the actual action. Don't spend so much time buying like every course and trying to figure everything out. Like a parked car is impossible to direct. You need to be moving, and even if you're moving backwards, that's better.
The GPS only starts working after you start moving.
And don't get hung up with, I remember a story of this lady in like, she wanted to buy a house like in Lakeview, Chicago in the 70s. And she said it was too expensive. And we met her in the 2000s. Oh, it's too expensive. I'm like, yeah, but if you would have bought it then, it would be, look where you'd be now. So just buy it now, because imagine where you'll be. So like, just get started. Like, I didn't know anything about real estate in 2004.
Yeah.
And within a year or two back then, we were banging deals out. Like, I mean, not even, it was within months, so like, you just have to get started and surround yourself with the right people. And have the right mindset, and then just also know why you're doing this. Like, you know,
Yep.
what's your reason for this? Like,
yeah. Get some clarity on your why. Very good. Awesome. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate the
Thank
words
you.
of inspiration. This is wonderful. Very good.
Can we live up?
Congrats to your success. There's going to be a lot more of it for you too. You guys, well deserving, so deserving, and so much more. More deals are coming to you guys. I'm really excited. Thanks for being clients. Thanks for being in my life.
Thanks you for having us on.
Thanks for
this. I feel energized.